Yeah, a couple things in regards to moving in. I've been having to walk Louis about 3 times a day. Just to be fair, like I said, this is a little studio apartment, so there's not much for him to do. We live upstairs, so he can't be too loud, making noise, and I don't want the downstairs neighbors to come up. So I've been taking him on walks, about 2 or 3 walks a day. He's getting used to the whole atmosphere of like hearing the neighbor close and open their door, the neighbor's kids running up and down the stairs. Those are all new sounds to him. But just like all things, Eric, you have to be
Mhm.
uncomfortable to be comfortable.
Well, how does it feel though in your new apartment? Does it feel like a sense of like refreshment? Like,
Yeah. Yes.
it's gotta be like that.
All right, let's start this podcast. So yes, very refreshing, very yes, it's like almost like a sense of satisfaction, like you're finally working towards something or for something, something's finally yours. Now in regards to let's start this podcast, I have a little story to tell.
Oh, story
Yeah,
time.
yeah, it's story time. So let me pull up the little calendar right here. Today's the 8th, you guys. Last week we took off. So last Monday, today's Tuesday, last Tuesday was the 1st. I believe on the 27th of May. So 2 weeks
Mhm,
ago, 20 so it was a Thursday, maybe a Wednesday, the 26th of
mhm,
May. Um, I came home from an overnight shift, meaning that I started work at 10 p.m. I came home at 6 a.m. and I was not tired. And mainly because I knew that I would go to sleep at 6 and then wake up around noon or 2 o'clock. And for those who hate naps, like from 4 to 7 or from like 1 to 5, try 6 hours like square in the middle of the day. 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., it just feels sloppy, even if you get those 6 to 7 hours, you still feel like behind in the day. For me, like I don't know what it is. Like when I take like long sleeps like that in the morning, like my ears get all hot and I'm all uncomfortable. Anyways, I took it to the pad. I grabbed a pen and I grabbed my
mhm,
notepad, my journal, and I took it to the notepad. And I wrote, I always write the date. I wrote my frustrations,
mhm.
I'm tired of working a graveyard. I'm tired of not getting paid what I feel like I'm worth. Um, and I just started venting to myself. There's a difference between complaining and then like kind of venting. And the next thing I did, Eric, after I wrote my complaints out, or express my feelings, however way you want to put it, I wrote some things that I'm going to do to change my situation, to prepare myself for the future. And so I wrote, I'm gonna be on work on time, and I'm going to participate in more work trainings, blah blah blah, just trying to
Mhm.
challenge myself. That's
Right.
me. I like to challenge myself. Long story short, I get a phone interview the next day. So after I journaled, I complained, I wrote my solutions, and then I got on the computer and I started sending out applications. The next day I get an application response. And now this is huge because prior to this, I've spent months sending applications, doing interviews, or doing test exams and no follow-ups. So I get the
Mhm,
phone call. I'm like, okay, this is a typical phone screening. And then they're like, okay, if you get an email, that's your second interview. Make sure you schedule it. So I get the email, I get the second interview, and I get the job.
oh,
Yeah, and so right now, at the youth shelters I work at, I make $15 an hour, which is just about minimum wage.
mhm.
The new agency that I'm working for right here in San Bernardino will be paying me a little bit more. So it's yes, definitely a relief, definitely a relief. When Ali and I moved to this little studio or a one bedroom apartment, again, I was making $15 an hour at the time. She makes a little bit less than me. Um, so we were gonna have to stretch a couple mills. It wasn't
Mhm.
gonna be like a struggle, but we were gonna have to be smart. But thank God with this new job, we can breathe a little bit easier, with the rent and the groceries. We can kind of enjoy ourselves a little bit more. And the best part of Eric is that I wrote one thing in the journal that I'll never forget. I wrote that the reason why I want a job that has a steady schedule is because I want to grow with Ali, and I want to grow with the podcast. And so
Mm.
those were like kind of like my prayers, if you will.
Yeah.
you know, God, I'm frustrated with my work, with
Mhm.
my schedule that I have. I don't feel like it's
Mhm.
allowing me to grow. You know, this is like my ideal schedule. Literally will be done and that type of deal. And so, yeah, I got a set schedule. I'll be working Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. full time. I'll be getting trained as a behavioral therapist, so a lot of good things in the future. That's pretty much it for my story time. But I just wanted to share that story to the podcast because there's power in our
Mhm.
tongue. There's power in what we believe in. And I wanted to encourage you guys that if you're in a situation that's frustrating or you're at a job that you don't like, take it to the pad, journal,
Mhm.
uh, release that frustration, express those emotions, try to see it through, and then drop something that you want. Like, okay, you know that you don't like your job. Okay, write that down. The
Mhm.
next thing, write what you do want. Write what's an ideal job for you. What's the next step for you? How do you be more happier? And see what it does. It doesn't hurt. Eric, it was free.
Yeah.
It was free.
Rodolfo out here making moves, everybody.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm super happy for you, brother. That's congratulations.